Greetings to you people. This is Oron's Creations. Now, as you well know, Peter Obi, His Excellency, is somehow under attack at the moment by those that must have been sponsored by one interest or the other, by those who don't want good things to happen to Nigeria, for those who are only fighting for their belly. Before I go on, viewers, may I request you humbly to please subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit the notification button so that anytime I make video, you'll be one of the first or the first to view. Now, before I go on, let me quickly say here that Peter Obi is a man that has been known to have done well when he was the governor of Anambra State for 8 years. He did a lot of projects. He was able to manage his state's funds, and he made sure that he left huge sums of money running into billions in 3 banks for the incoming government. In fact, the Lagos Business School recited all these achievements for Obi as per what he did.
And the second for the Distinguished Alumni Award. It's somebody that I'm sure we all love very much. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to announce the winner, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. I'm sure we can do better than that for Peter.
Mr. Peter Gregory Obi, Honorary Special Advisor to the President on Finance and member of the country's economic management team, is the immediate past Executive Governor of Anambra State. Mr. Obi attended Christ the King College, Onitsha, and graduated from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, with a bachelor's degree in philosophy. He has attended several executive programs at top business schools in Nigeria and abroad, including Harvard Business School and Kellogg Graduate School of Management, USA. He is an alumnus of Lagos Business School, having attended the Chief Executive Program, CEP 11, in 2002. Mr. Peter Obi is a thoroughbred professional and fellow of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria. He has excelled both in private enterprise and public service, and had at various times been the chairman, Fidelity Bank PLC, chairman, Guardian Express Mortgage Bank Limited, chairman, Paymaster PLC, to mention just a few. As governor, he was elected vice chairman of the Nigeria Governors Forum and chairman, Southeast Governors Forum, amongst numerous other federal government appointments. Recently honored as the Outstanding Igbo Man of the Decade by the Champion newspaper, Mr. Obi is credited with introducing fundamental changes in Nigerian politics and is remembered for the following achievements while in office: exemplary commitment to reforms and development, building relationships between Anambra State and other countries such as USA, Britain, Russia, European Union, Belgium, Israel, Venezuela, and others. Attracted big Fortune 500 companies like SAB Miller, Distel, and GlaxoSmithKline, Nemeth Pharmaceuticals, etc., to Anambra State. Under him, Anambra State was rated the least indebted state in Nigeria by the Debt Management Office. Anambra was adjudged by the Federal Ministry of Works the state with the best network of roads in the country, having asphalted over 800 kilometers of roads. He reopened long-closed schools and returned missionary schools to the original owners with a grant of 6 billion naira for their rehabilitation, distributing over 30,000 computers, internet access, Microsoft academies to over 500 schools. Anambra State students, for the first time, achieved first place nationwide in the 2013 WAEC and NECO Common Entrance examinations. It provided 700 buses to secondary schools in the state and provided boreholes to over 300 schools. He also built classroom blocks in all the 177 communities in the state. He ensured the payment of over 35 billion naira in outstanding pensions and gratuities in the state since 1999. Before he became governor, no single health institution was accredited in the state. But under his administration, 10 schools of nursing, midwifery, and medical technology, as well as 2 hospitals, were accredited. Mr. Peter Obi stands for justice and fairness and was the first Nigerian governor to reclaim his governorship mandate after 3 years in the court, giving confidence to others to pursue their stolen mandates. He is also the first governor in Anambra State to serve for 2 terms since democratic rule in 1979. Perhaps Mr. Peter Obi's greatest legacy in office was his financial prudence. He funded development projects without borrowing money from financial institutions, nor raising bonds. And he handed over to his successor, Mr. Willie Obiano, also an alumnus of LBS, the sum of 75 billion naira in the form of cash local foreign investments. In a recent testimony, the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Amici, Right Reverend E.O. Ikako, spoke glowingly of Mr. Peter Obi while advising his successor, Mr. Willie Obiano, to toe his checkered steps. Mr. Obi is a native of Amatutu village, Agulu, Anaucha, LGA of Anambra State, and he's married to Margaret with 2 children. For contributing in an outstanding way to the development of Anambra State and Nigeria, for contributing in building an oasis of sanity and expanding the ideas of what is possible and what can be done in the society, setting new standards in the process, and for reflecting the ideals of the school both in private and public service, Mr. Peter Gregory Obi is hereby being honored with the Lagos Business School Distinguished Alumni Award.
By special request, I'd like to invite the Dean, Lagos Business School, Dr. Naso Konedo, to please join the President in giving the award to Mr. Peter Obi. Can we please clap for the Dean as she comes up?
Welcome back, viewers, for watching that very clip. As you have seen in that clip, Mr. Peter Obi, His Excellency, did a lot for Anambra State. And he's continued to do a lot. And those achievements read out by Lagos Business School in giving him that award, they are just some of his achievements, not even all. as numerous as those achievements are, they are not all, but just some of them. But when you juxtapose that achievement of his, when you juxtapose those achievements of his, that the Lagos Business School, in giving him that award, read out to what these political detractors are saying about him, you would just but laugh, because these people don't know what leadership is all about. They are only concerned about their criminal activities. They are only concerned about their dubious activities. They are only concerned about their corrupt practices. That is why someone that is corrupt, that has stolen state monies, can now come to national TV to try to blame, to try to talk against a man who did the right thing, who was never corrupt, who used Anambra's money for Anambra and left billions of naira for Anambra. Can you be that? If Nigeria is not a lawless country, if Nigeria is not a country where nothing works, how can someone who is corrupt, how can someone who has left his state that he governed with huge debt now be criticizing the governor that worked very hard for his state, that invested in his state, that did a lot of investment in the state, Anambra, and left billions of naira for his successor? This is what we are talking about. People like Oshomole have tried to castigate this man. Hear what Oshomole said.
Obiano said he spent his first term in office, tried to restore law and order in Anambra, tried to restore security. The situation became so bad that Anambra people or Anambarians were afraid to come home. And he was troubled by that. So his first priority was to restore security to Anambra. Now there are two implications of that. You can't restore what is already existing. If it's not broken, you don't mend it. So he inherited a state that was practically ungovernable, but he restored order. And what he wanted to do the second term was to now invest in infrastructure. You also have an interview with Gigewe who said, the man didn't invest in infrastructure. How do you run the economy without infrastructure? If you didn't invest in infrastructure in your state and you claim you were saving money, are you a CBN? Are you a Federal Reserve Bank? The business of states, federal government, is to manage national reserves and deal with broad policy, monetary policies. States are supposed to be the real engines of growth, creating an enabling environment for businesses to locate in their various states. And the man claimed, without proof, that he was saving money. So it was just with thrift, saving in whose bank? And he reminds us how he was chairman of at least 2 banks. So if you were chairman of 2 banks, could that be the reason why saving was for you a priority, even in the face of needs, including robust investment in education? So I think if you look at all the issues, I'm clear that by the special grace of God, Nigerians will vote wisely. We will win. We don't need to rig.
You see what I mean? You see what I mean? What he could not do, what Oshomola could not do, that Peter Obi did excellently, that Peter Obi did marvelously, without any stain. He's trying to put mud on it. This is something like a criminal calling a saint criminal. This is likened to a never-do-well calling a superstar an idiot. This is likened to a shameless person calling an honorable person useless. What a joke. Having said that, I want to say that there are people in Nigeria that don't want Nigeria to progress. They don't want Nigeria to be safe. They don't want Nigeria to enjoy good governance. They don't want Nigeria to be amongst the best countries in the world. They are there. All they fight for is their belly. All they fight for is their self-interest. All they fight for is how to negotiate for their own benefit, for their own selfish ends. They don't care whether Nigerians die. They don't care whether Nigerians perish. These people are at it again. One of the things they're trying to use to discredit Obi, of course, which cannot wash, is that Peter Obi saved money into billions of naira for Anambra before he left. They are trying to even ridicule that great effort that none of them has ever done in Nigeria. Let's really face it. Is it not something wonderful, even for a family, that the father, the mother, after working, training the children, they will still leave money somewhere in case of any unforeseen circumstances, that those money or monies be used for their children? Is it not something wonderful? That is saving for the rainy day. In other words, you don't eat the fruit and the seed together. You only eat the fruit and leave the seed to sow so that it can give more fruits. But most of these, our Nigerian leaders, those governors, even the presidents we've had, what they only do is to eat the fruit and eat the seed. They don't invest. They don't save for the rainy day. And they are just like that. People like Oshomole and his cohorts, they are like that. They don't see anything good in saving. They don't see anything in investing and saving for the raining day. They don't see anything like that to do for their people for the rainy day. Now look at what they're saying. Peter Obi worked well for his state, Anambra State. Oh no, to them, he didn't do anything. They are telling lies. When the evidence, the pieces of evidence are there. No. They think everyone is blind like them. They keep going on that he has not done anything. Even the amounts of money he left for Obiano, what they are saying is, oh, it's bad to leave that money. Is he a central bank, like Oshomole will say? Oshomole that make Edo State dry, that left huge debt for the incoming governor Obaseki. Oshomole that mismanaged the money of Edo State has the guts to even come out to criticize Obi, who worked exceptionally for his state, Anambra, and left huge sums of money. What is supposed to be celebrated is now being mocked. You see, this is why Nigeria, one of the reasons Nigeria, it is the way it is. A country where criminals judge the righteous. A country where those who are up to no good in leadership judge those who have done well in governance. A country where people that ought not to be talking are now lording it over those that ought to be heard. Such a country will not grow. This is one of the reasons Nigeria is the way it is. A country where touts are richer than professors. A country where hoodlums are in position of power, and those that are educated and refined are relegated to the background. Such a country cannot grow. A country where those that have no businesses are having much money than those that are entrepreneurs, those that are having businesses. Such a country will not grow. This is a country where things are upside down. These people, they have made Nigeria a mockery. They have made Nigeria a laughingstock before others. Also, listen to what Adebayo said concerning Obi leaving money for the incoming administration of Obiano.
But he said the record is there for him to speak for him in Anambra State.
Which record?
He left, a huge amount of money after leaving the corpus of the state.
The government money that he had invested in his private company. Is that what you are talking of? Could that be an advantage? I mean, if you talk of somebody leaving money, was he supposed to leave money? Is he a banker or is he a bank?
But
was the money for
isn't that showing some level of prudence,
what
and,
is the prudence?
And transparency?
Look, going to government is about going to perform for the benefit of the people, not going to keep the people's money which he was,
In this case, you could also see that this one is trying to talk against that good deed, that excellent work, that greatness that ought to be emulated. Now, let us hear from Okowa what Okowa also said concerning Obi leaving money in the treasury or leaving money for Anambra to start with. Let's also hear from Okowa what he said about the money Obi left for Anambra when he was leaving office. And when you are listening to this, please just reason for yourself who these people are, what they're trying to do. No wonder Nigeria is the way it is.
I don't want to believe that in the midst of scarcity and infrastructure deficit, that what we need to do is to continue to leave money in governance. I don't think that's the pathway to go, because it's only man when people don't have roads to ply on, when the educational system is still in shambles, when the health sector is in trouble, and you say you have excessive money in this country at this time to continue to save it, when the money is depreciating by the day, that's not the right path to go. The right path is to ensure that you use the money for the development of the people, to create entrepreneurs, to create jobs for the people, to create the enabling environment for industries to grow. This is the right thing to do. So we must be cautious, the kind of language you pass on to Nigerians. When you're talking about developed clients, it's different, because they've gone through all this, so they are going through, they have monies that they can save. But at the moment, in a depreciating situation, you can't continue to save when that money is needed to grow the economy and to make the people have livable conditions. So it's important that we are careful about the narratives that we pass on to Nigerians.
Now, what makes me somehow, what baffles me in this thing is this. When these people like Okowa, when they are lying to the Nigerian people, they just put up a straight face. This is what hard criminals do. They know what they are doing, but they just put on a straight face. They just put on a straight face. Here, Okowa was even trying to say, that Obi did not develop Anambra. Obi did not do anything for Anambra. Instead, he was just saving money while people were suffering, While people were in squalor, why nothing was going on for Anambra, all Obi was concerned about was saving money, which is, of course, a lie.
When I left office by only one measure of development as at that time was Millennium Development Goals. By United Nations and Nigeria federal government, which is party I don't run by party I don't belong, I was number one. I was number one in education. I was number one in health. I won the Bill Gates Prize. Federal government of Nigeria gave me the award for having the best road network in Nigeria. So, but that is aside. So saving money was an addition of excellent performance. You can go and verify. But that notwithstanding,
is that he didn't only just develop Anambra State, he also left this huge amount of money. Let us hear Soludo.
I don't know about Peter Obi's template. I'm pursuing Soludo's template, which is Soludo's template that it takes about, producing results by being accountable and prudent. It's not, we don't save money for the sake of saving money. Saving money is not an output. It's not an outcome by itself. We put money to produce value for our people. If you don't have something to spend money on, then save it. But if you have something, you can't have your people in the hospital dying and you say you are saving money and so on, and poverty is escalating and so on and so forth.
Outside of public sector, because, and I'm making another reference to former Governor Peter Obi of Anambra State, who has talked about how much of investment is made with the resources of the Anambra State government to bring back profit and benefit of to the Anambra people. By the way, what has become of that investment, and are you looking in that direction also?
I don't know why you are turning the interview about Peter Obi.
No, I'm just making reference because these are like opening. Well, I made reference to former Governor Obi and not to.
Shell interview is about my 2023 budget. I'm not talking about the investments of either any of my predecessors. By the way, the one that you talk about, I don't know about that. I think there was something I read about somebody speculated about the value of whatever investment. What I've seen today, the value of those investments is worth next to nothing. So,
the envious man, the envious professor. This is why people should take note of this. Education is not wisdom. You could go to school but not have wisdom. You could go to school and not know how to lead and not know the right things to say and the right things to do. Schooling is not sense. Schooling is not wisdom. For those who care to hear this and to know. This is why some people who didn't even go to school are more sensible, are wiser than those who said they went to school. This is also one of the reasons why those who never attended school will be richer, will have more business acumen than those who said they went to school. So schooling is not wisdom, schooling is not sense. Soludo is supposed to be a professor, Soludo is a professor and supposed to be someone who can decipher truth from lies, but his own case is not like that. Envy has so consumed him to the extent that his reasoning is now looking like foolishness. And he thinks he's rubbishing Obi. No way. You are making the image of Obi to skyrocket the more. Because people know. They know him. They know him. They know what he has done. Soludo, you're just the one rubbishing yourself. And it's unfortunate. It's so sad. It's so sad that you decide to disparage, you decide to look down on the great work of Obi in your state, Anambra State. And that action, that singular action of saving money for the rainy day in your state, which the person that you took over from couldn't do for you. You said in Arise News that, well, that, Obiano left huge jet for you. That is what you said. And you told Arise News that, paraphrasing you now, that the situation is hopeless for you. But here you have a governor that left billions of naira in 3 banks for the incoming administration or government of Obiano, and you are castigating him today. You see that you're not making sense. You see, you're not making sense. Even Rufai Hussaini of Arise News actually said some important things about you and about your, criticisms about Obi that you're not even factual.
Right of reply, you hear a lot, but let's stick to the facts. What are the facts? The question is, did Peter Obi leave money when he was leaving, yes or no? He did leave. There's a letter to prove that. Shouldn't we celebrate people that leave money rather than in a country where people leave humongous debts? Because this same Governor Soludo that is speaking, when you look at it critically, he complained about the debt. We interviewed him here on Arise, where he was complaining about the debts that was left behind by Governor Obiano. The humongous debts, that there was virtually next to nothing left. So if somebody leaves behind, shouldn't we commend them? In a country where we are spending all of our revenue to service debts. The question is, did he make investments? Yes or no? What is the worth of those investments today? Did he achieve some milestones? The answers are out there. Dr. Bati, you said one about the education sector. Did he make those inroads as regards bettering the lot of the people in the states? Did he reduce insecurity? Those are the facts we should look at. Not somebody saying, oh, the investments are worth nothing. But the question is, there was a person before him, there was a Governor Obiano, that this same Governor Soludo told us on this morning show that left a very good debt profile behind. And it was a problem for him when he started, which is a fact out there that we can't deny. So let's juxtapose facts for facts here, and call a spade in this conversation.
You're supposed to be factual. You say you're a professor. You're not even factual. All you're doing is wide accusations because envy has so consumed you that you cannot even see your left from your right, that you can't even know your left from your right, that you can't even decipher the truth from lies. It's so unfortunate, but Obi will keep on moving.
Let me be factual now. I'm sure you're talking about comments from my very respectable DSC elder brother, Soludo. I, Soludo, have come a long way. My brother is my friend. And he's the governor of my state. And as governor of my state, I pray for him to do very well at everything and all that. And we have to support him. It's very important that critical. He has his own opinions. His opinion might not be the opinion of people of Anambra State. It might not be the opinion of Southeast or Nigerians. But he has, I respect his opinion because it's his opinion. And he's a respected person as far as I'm concerned. And he's my governor. But in a clarification so that people can understand. The investment I did in Anambra State was, before I talk about investment, the only measure of development while I was governor was Millennium Development Goals. It is Millennium Development Goals that India, China, Vietnam mainstreamed into their development agenda. For China, they used it to pull 439 million people out of poverty between the year 2000 and year 2015. India, within this period, pulled 276 million out of poverty. And Vietnam did almost 40 to 50 million out of poverty. And these are records we can check. I became governor in 2006, was impeached end of 2006, came back. One of my greatest supporters today is one of my supporters, the ex-president of Nigeria. one of the reasons why he's supporting me is that when they said I should give people money for me not to be impeached, I said no, I can't pay people for doing the wrong thing. I would rather go. But I came back. So, for me, the measure, they started MDG in 2000, but after my impeachment, I came back in 2007, started implementing MDG. By the time Nigeria ended MDG in 2015, Anambra State was #1. The person in charge of pulling people out of poverty in Nigeria is a man called Dr. Magnus Packard. Go and ask him. I have a certificate for being #1. He's still alive. Go to Mission Department of Statistics. I was the first governor to do statistical record of poverty. I won a prize from Federal Ministry of Works for having the best road network. You can go to people in Anambra State. I was #1 when I started. We were number 26 and 27 in Wayaka and Neko. By the time I left, we were #1. I won the great prize for health. I can go on and say this is what we achieved. But I said the overall measure is MDG. I was #1. The people who were doing it then was Amina, who is now in United Nations. I was even invited to United Nations to share my experience. And so many things are over. And collectively, the day I left office, I was not owing any contractor who have executed his job. And these are not owing for any job that a contract we awarded, but you can only pay when job is executed. I'm not owing any contractor who have executed his job. I'm not owing any supplier who has supplied anything. I'm not owing one. Examples are people like Innocent, Xerox Computer. I paid Xerox. We bought the highest amount of computer ever bought by a government in Africa. They are there. HP will tell you the same thing. I paid them 6 months up front before they supplied it to our schools. I paid Innocent 1 year before I delivered any car. You can go this and it's on tape, so you can go and verify all this. Above this, I decided from day one that we must have a savings as a state. And we must save at least 10% of my total receipts by the time I leave government. Total money I received while I was governor, Anambra State received, whether it's local government, whether it's state, whether it's our local revenue, IGR, everything was about 500 and something billion naira. Out of which they are left office, we had in savings 75 billion naira. And this is how the money was shared, so that you know which one is mentioned. Only one that is the money we saved is A, we saved in dollar. In 3 banks in Nigeria, some of you are working in those banks. Access Bank, Diamond Bank, and Fidelity Bank. In each of these banks, I had a saving of $50 million. Listen, and they were invested at least interest of 6.5%. If you calculate it today, as at that time, it was equivalent of 25 billion, because I was 160 something, 160. If you calculate today with interest, it's about 250, at least $250 million. These 3 banks are there. I have in each of these banks, again invested at least 10 billion naira in 3 of them, making it 30 billion at an average interest, call it even 10%. If you calculate it, that money today would have been about 60 billion. Remember what I left is 75 as I calculated there. So then the third one is investment I did in various companies. NIPP, we have $59 million in it. The one that they're saying is worthless is that we invested $3.5 billion in international breweries. International breweries is what you can call a global company. It's a part of AB InBev, which is the biggest brewer in the whole world. We had a policy while I was governor that any factory, anybody who wants to, foreign investor who wants to invest in Anambra State, we will buy 10% of the company, and under the condition that we will sign an agreement with him that he will give Anambra people work to the minimum of not less than 40% of the workers. They built a facility in Anambra State. That facility is there today, employing directly and indirectly over 10,000 Anambrarians. They have been one of the highest revenue source for the state. Even some of their waste, the biggest piggery we have in Anambra State, collects waste from them. There's so many things that company have done in terms of helping the state, transporters, this, that, and everything. The shares was at the time being sold at 50 naira. Today the shares is about 5 naira or so, and then maybe that was what was referred. But in overall of what I left is less than 5%. Okay. That particular investment is less than 5%. So if you calculate what I left 75 billion. If you go and save the dollars today, even at 600, it's 150 billion. Plus 60 billion of the naira is 210 billion. Even if that one is wasted, 3 times what I invested is still there. When you spread your investment, some will go up, some will come down. But overall, the company is still there. The company is still doing well. It's still part of a global chain and everything. I needed to explain it not because I'm defending comment by my brother. My brother is the brother. I miss my brother. We're very close. I remain prayerful for him. For other things which I didn't succeed, God has given him opportunity to do it and succeed. For me, yes. So if there's anything pending, governance, you don't finish. People are still in government in America. So you stop where you stop, other people will continue from there. I don't look back. He's the governor of my state. I'll always, he's my senior brother. He's even more intelligent because he's a professor and a trader. So he knows more. So he'll be able to do things better than I'm doing it. You know, I've done my little one as a trader. Now the professor is there. He will do his own as a professor. The schools that didn't roof, he will roof them. That's how government goes. Another person comes, do his own. But let us think about, finally, like I tell the people, for those of you who are, please get involved. All of us are going to tell you a good story. All of us are going to say the same thing here. But it's who can we trust? Even in this one they're talking about me, some said he kept money and he did not. Now I said, even in the Bible, the man said, since you know I know, why did you keep my money for 7? If everybody who has passed through Nigeria, who did not keep money, are we going to be in problem now? We never had the money to do something. At least I kept the money. But in this one, I did something and I kept money. Next year's election, please, I'm begging all of you, should not be based on ethnicity. Don't ever do it. Yorubas don't buy bread cheaper. Neither do Hausas or Northerners buy bread cheaper. The Southwest people don't buy bread cheaper. Igbos don't buy bread cheaper. Let nobody take it about ethnicity. Everybody's suffering. Do not do it because of religion. No religion buys anything cheaper. No, there's no religion that I want to talk about electricity. I say it everywhere I go. Central Mosque in London, the land was donated by the Queen. The Queen is not a Muslim. That land is worth over $500 million. What? $1 billion. He gave it to them free. If you go to Dubai, I'm a Catholic. The Catholic Church in Dubai, the land and the church was built by any of Dubai. You don't get the land, build it. It's only here that people tell you about religion. If you know people, any church, they buy anything cheaper. Show me, I'll start going there. They'll buy the food. So let nobody give us the excuse. And it's nobody's turn. It is turn of Nigerians to take back their country. So let nobody say it is turn. So, it is their turn. They must take back their country. So, next year's election must be on character we can trust. If you say you're not corrupt, nobody is the same. I'm not. I've never claimed to be. And I don't know everything. The little I know, I've tried. You know. But if you say you're not going to fight corruption, let's know where you pass through. How much you live there? How much was missing? At least today I said where I left $150 million, left 30 billion naira. Let other people come and show where they left their own. I've said, go to Anambra State. If you see a piece of land allocated to Peter Obi, directly or indirectly, or the wife or anybody, come and stop campaigning. So I say I will fight corruption head on because I've experimented it somewhere. I want you to who are not the employers to explain it very well. Next year's election must be character we can trust. It must be based on competence. It must be based on capacity and commitment to do the right thing. And remember, this job requires physical and mental energy to do it. We don't want people telling us to do. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you very much.
Obi will keep on waxing stronger. And let me tell you, Soludo, Obi-Date movement is a movement that is beyond you, that is beyond your sponsors, that is beyond those that are backing you to try to discredit Obi when they know that his popularity is soaring by the day, that nothing they can do about it, that they, the opposition, are going to lose finally. So that's why they are so desperate to do anything they can do, to tell the lies they can tell about Obi, to use you to even, join the lies they are telling. Well, you people have failed, and Obi and obedience and Nigerians will continue to move on. You have seen the crowds going with Obi without being paid anything, going with Obi all over the states of the country, Nigeria. So you're already defeated. You are just fighting a losing battle. You and the people that are sending you and the people that are with you, on this negative trajectory, you people have failed and you continue to fail. Well, my viewers, if you're watching me for the first time, please do subscribe, comment on my videos, share my videos, and of course hit the notification button so that anytime I make a video, you'll be one of those, one of the the people to know first. And also those that have subscribed, thank you very much. I thank you. I appreciate you for what you've done. Thanks. Bye.